1st July 2026. Episode 105. Vikrant proposes to Malika. Driven by the manipulation of Aishwarya and Neetu, a misled Vikrant proposes to Malika right in front of Manat. While Malika happily accepts, Manat is left completely shattered but hides her heartbreak. Vikrant corners a distant and stoic Manat, confronting her about her apparent indifference. He then firmly demands she take charge and assist with all the upcoming wedding arrangements. Behind the scenes, Aishwarya and Neetu celebrate the success of their scheme. 2nd July 2026. Episode 106. Will Manat confess her love? Vikrant proceeds with his engagement to Malika, attempting to provoke a reaction from Manat. Malika burns her veil in a rage and casts Manat out. Aishwarya and Neetu conspire to further isolate her. 3rd July 2026. Episode 107. Manat plays her first card. Manat's sudden emotional confession takes Vikrant completely by surprise, shifting his perspective and drawing him much closer to her. While Shalini encourages Manat's true feelings, a highly suspicious Aishwarya senses a brewing romance and vows to intervene. 4th July 2026. Episode 108. The Deepening Rift. Vikrant desperately wants Manat to fully admit her love for him, but their emotional rift deepens due to misunderstandings. Capitalizing on the tension, Malika steps in to emotionally manipulate a vulnerable Manat into promising she will never come between them. 5th July 2026. Episode 109. Manat senses foul play. Manat fiercely confronts Vikrant for shattering her trust. The drama intensifies when Neetu arrives with a glass of juice. A highly suspicious Manat senses foul play and deliberately spills the juice to prevent Vikrant from unknowingly consuming spiked medication. 6th July 2026. Episode 110. Vikrant stands his ground. Malika's scheme seemingly succeeds when Neetu ruthlessly kicks Manat out of the house. However, a defiant Vikrant completely flips the script by standing his ground, flatly refusing to marry Malika unless Manat is allowed to stay. 7th July 2026. Episode 111. Manat and Vikrant's Divine Moment. Through an unexpected twist of divine intervention, Manat and Vikrant's sacred Chunari Chadna ritual is successfully completed instead of Malika's. Meanwhile, a scheming Gayatri hands Aishwarya a clever plan to publicly expose Manat and reclaim control. 8th July 2026. Episode 112. Ash traps Manat. Aishwarya orchestrates a calculated move to publicly expose and humiliate Manat at a cocktail party, secretly using fluorescent powder as a trick to catch her off guard. Unbeknownst to Ash, Vikrant prepares to drop a massive bombshell of his own by revealing to the family that his upcoming wedding with Malika is a total sham. 9th July 2026. Episode 113. Manat outsmarts Ash. Following Aishwarya's attempt to expose her at the cocktail party, Manat turns the tables completely by handing over a second threat letter. Aishwarya tries to find incriminating evidence of fingerprints on the letter but fails. Reeling from being outmaneuvered, Aishwarya grows deeply suspicious of Manat's true capabilities. 10th July 2026. Episode 114. Will Ash fall for Manat's trap? Teaming up with Shalini, Manat devises an elaborate plot to extract a confession from Aishwarya regarding her illegal and manipulative schemes. Manat skillfully tricks and lures Aishwarya away from her secure surroundings and brings her to a local chawal where she sets up a terrifying high-stakes trap that completely breaks Aishwarya down. 11th July 2026. Episode 115. Ash discovers Manat's scheme. Building on her master plan, Mannat locks Aishwarya inside a photo studio and physically blinds her by throwing a sack over her head to keep her identity concealed. Aishwarya breaks free from her constraints and uncovers the paper trail behind Mannat's strategic trap. Realizing she has been deliberately played, Aishwarya immediately starts plotting a ruthless way to turn the tables back on Mannat. Dash 12th July 2026. Episode 116. Mannat changes Neetu's medicine. Mannat uncovers a disturbing truth when she realizes Vikrant is suffering from severe memory lapses. Investigating the root cause, she secretly swaps Neetu's medicines to neutralize the threat and protect Vikrant from being further drugged. Vikrant chooses to lie to Malika about his whereabouts to prevent Neetu from finding out. In the background, a vengeful Aishwarya and Malika formulate a deadly, fiery conspiracy to burn Mannat and get her completely out of their way. Dash 13 July 2026. Episode 117. Mannat joins forces with Gagan after learning he has been helping her expose Aishwarya. Later at the Mehendi, Mala lures Mannat onto the stage, plotting to burn her alive. Dash 14th July 2026. Episode 118. Vikrant saves Mannat. Her stakes, gambits, and counter strategies create absolute chaos for Aishwarya and the family as Vikrant steps in to save Mannat from the escalating danger. Dash River Stones 2026. Episode 119. Mannat comes to Gagan's rescue. A desperate Aishwarya arrives at a designated drop spot, bringing a demanded 1 crore rupees cash ransom. Unbeknownst to her, Ravindra's armed men ambush the scene and successfully catch the blackmailer. Gagan, who secretly tailed Aishwarya to the location, ends up severely exposed and in deep danger. Mannat risks everything to intervene and helps Gagan safely flee the scene. Dash 16 July 2026. Episode 120. Vikrant Mannat's Kalira ceremony. Armed with the 1 crore rupees cash intercepted from Aishwarya's failed blackmail transaction, Mannat redirects the wealth by directly helping the Chawal community. During the family's pre-wedding events, tension surges during the highly symbolic Kalira ceremony, highlighting the deep, unavoidable romantic connection tightening between Vikrant and Mannat. A furious Neetu fiercely plots a new strategy against Mannat to decisively drive her out of the household. Dash 17th July 2026. Episode 121. Mannat to expose Ash. Mannat faces devastating news when she learns that Shruti only has 24 hours left to undergo a critical liver transplant. She works aggressively alongside Gagan to expose Aishwarya's crimes and track down her biological mother. During a sacred family Jagrata prayer ceremony, a completely caught off guard Aishwarya receives a terrifying anonymous threat. A furious Vikrant also fiercely snaps and lashes out at Mannat amid lingering misunderstandings. Dash 18 July 2026. Episode 122. Mannat learns the truth. Cornered and absolutely terrified of dying, a broken Aishwarya confesses to Mannat that she is her biological mother, admitting she was the one who abandoned Mannat as a newborn and left her to be raised by Shruti. This shocking revelation shifts everything for Mannat, as knowing Aishwarya's identity suddenly opens up a desperate chance to secure a compatible biological donor and save Shruti's life within the critical 24-hour deadline. Dash 19th July 2026. Episode 123. Mannat compels Ash to donate. Desperate to save Shruti's life, Mannat uses her ultimate leverage against Aishwarya, threatening to expose her true identity as Sonia Khanna unless she agrees to undergo the surgery. Backed into a corner, Aishwarya reluctantly agrees to donate her liver but demands a devastating price: that Mannat must break Vikrant's heart and push him away forever in exchange for saving Shruti. Mannat is left deeply shattered, trapped between sacrificing her own love and saving the mother who raised her. Dash 20th July 2026. Episode 124. Mannat breaks Vikrant's heart. Trapped by Aishwarya's cruel condition, Mannat has no choice but to go through with their dark bargain. She confronts Vikrant and completely shatters his trust, putting on a cold facade and lying that she was only using him to gain a financial stake in his restaurant Mezbani. Dash. 21st July 2026. Episode 125. Mannat feels guilty. Following her cold, fabricated confession, Mannat is completely consumed by intense guilt, breaking down privately and deeply traumatized by the emotional damage she was forced to inflict on Vikrant. A thoroughly broken Vikrant seeks solace from his close, confident Ronnie, pouring his heart out about his profound sorrow and complete disillusionment. Meanwhile, the surgical preparations move forward as Aishwarya is wheeled into the operating theatre to fulfill her end of the dark bargain. Dash. 22nd July 2026. Episode 126. Mannat saves Shruti. Following a frantic countdown, the life-saving liver transplant operation is successfully completed, ensuring Shruti's safe recovery. Refusing to let Malika capitalize on the chaos, Mannat directly intervenes to stop Vikrant and Malika's upcoming marriage. Despite protecting her family, Mannat is crushed by profound guilt for breaking Vikrant's heart. A furious Malika instantly calls the police on Mannat. In a brilliant countermove, Mannat plays a legal financial card and officially forces her way into becoming Vikrant's new business partner. Dash.